I was gonna write it out, but I didn't want like to be looked at funny, even though, I don't really
Yeah.
care. But hi guys, we're just gonna sit here and chat, wait for some people to hop on. I was telling Jared that there's people on like TikTok and stuff like that
Hmm.
that use that and like their hashtags and they have shirts that they sell, for themselves and profit off of and stuff like that that say fuck them kids. And I didn't want to be associated with some of them
Yeah. Hmm.
because like I love the saying, but them as like a person.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
one of
figured,
those very fine line sense of humor
yes,
with people when you
yep,
say that.
yep. So that's why it's FTK. We can think of something different to tell people that are a little. Was it? My son was running from my daughter this morning, going, "Oh my God, Karen, get away from me!" And I'm like, "What do you know about a Karen?"
Yeah. What do you know about Karen?
Like,
Or like the way that my kids talk to me nowadays. I guess it's what's at school and it's
uh-huh.
bruh, bruh. I'm like, oh my lord.
Hi, Haley. Thank you for hopping in. Um, yeah, it's the stuff that kids know nowadays and like the way they talk.
I know.
Like it's just, does your son call you bruh? Bruh.
Oh, they'll say it all the time.
I hate it. I can't see it.
I have to tell them, I'm not your bruh,
I
dude.
just
Like,
ignore. I ignore them. I'm like, no, not happening. Don't
yeah,
know who you
no,
are. Don't,
not
you're
even
not.
gonna respond to you.
You're not talking to me. I know you're not talking to me. Like
Lord.
so. My son was sick yesterday. He's still sick. He's still getting over it. Um. So Jared took Lily with him to run a couple of errands, and I stayed home with him. And she ended up buying him like this pizza slice that was left over from Valentine's Day,
Hmm.
and it's I can't remember what it says. It's some silly quote about being a pizza and in love, And she
Like you
gave
got
it
a
to
piece
him.
of my heart.
Yeah, something like that. Something along those lines.
Something corny.
And, he loved it. Like his sister bought it for him. He slept all day yesterday and all night. Poor kid. Um, and of course he's feeling better today, so he's all riled up. But he took it on the car ride with us earlier and she kept stealing it from him. And she's like, "That's mine." Well, no, you bought it for him. So we went to McDonald's and I got them food and I let her have one of her chicken nuggets. When we got in the car, I took it from her.
Oh, Jesus.
I said, I bought it for you. It's mine. And
It's
she looked at
mine.
me and I ended up having to take the pizza slice away from them, but like it just now can you Desiree see the comments on the side?
I can.
Okay, there we go.
I
And then
see
if you
them.
hover over it, you can hit show. You can show
Oh.
Haley's here but driving, LOL listening. She's driving to Tennessee or home from Tennessee. And then Elizabeth Sunshine. I thought I was reading that wrong at first. It's a very basic thing to get wrong, Brianna. Says, hey, daughters of the king. Hope you are all well. Watching from Destin, Florida.
Oh, I'm gonna be in Florida in June when I leave for
Mm,
my cruise. It's my first
lucky.
time ever that I'll be in Florida.
What kind
I'll
of
be
cruise?
excited.
Just shoot the shit. What kind of cruise are going on with what company and where you guys
I'm going on
going?
the
And
Royal Caribbean. We're only going on like a what is it, 4 or 5 night cruise to the
you
Bahamas. And I
say
think it
only.
goes
You say
only. It's my first vacation that I'm actually taking myself on. So it's only this at the moment.
uh,
But yeah.
you said Royal Caribbean?
Yeah.
Or did I just make that up? Okay. I wasn't
No,
sure if I
you
made
didn't
that
make.
up in my head. Where are you guys stopping?
I think it's what is it? Nassau Bay?
Hmm.
I'm not sure. But I think there's only one stop because it's going to that island that Royal Caribbean has. Not sure. But my best friend's planning it. I'm like, just let me know when I pack my bags and when to drive. Like,
That's how I
I'm
am.
too busy with kids and work. Like,
Yeah. I'll like
no.
randomly like ask questions and then get fucking anxiety about it. But I'm like, are you like a last minute packer?
Yep.
Oh, I
Last
hate it.
minute
So am I.
everything.
I always pack everything, like, we
Everything.
used to travel on the train every other weekend, and I would pack everything, like, the night before and leave it all out, and then the morning of, I'd be like, "Nope, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this," and then throw it all together.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jennifer. Now you're saying so what if Dylan doesn't get his passport? I swear I've seen people before that, like, don't have their passports, they just can't get off the ship
I
in
think
certain
so.
areas.
I think you
Yeah.
have to have so many things to bring with you to get on the ship.
Uh-huh.
And if they take that legitimately as that's who you are, then you're good to go, but you can't get off port.
Yeah.
But I figured, if anything, we're only stopping at one place. So I'm just going to be happy to be on a cruise,
Mhm.
just
And I
chilling.
wonder too, like, with it being, like, one of Carnival's islands, if you even need like,
You
even
mean
though
Royal
it's
Caribbean?
territory somewhere else or
Yeah.
why do I keep That's my brain. Like, with it being one of their islands and stuff like that, I wonder if it's still considered US territory.
Who
That
knows?
sounds silly now that I'm saying it out loud. No, it matters where the fuck it is in the world. Like, just because a company's in New York doesn't
International
mean it
waters, but
yeah.
we're still in the US. It counts.
Just because the
Might as
company's in Maine
well.
doesn't mean if you're at it in fucking Illinois, you're still in Maine. Like,
Exactly.
duh, it's where it is.
Lord.
That's exciting. But then, you know what? Don't get Dylan his passport. You and your girlfriend can go hang out.
Yeah.
Keep
It's
his ass on a ship.
me, Dylan, my best friend Carly, and her husband Chris.
Yeah. Leave the men on the ship that day.
Because you know what's funny? Chris doesn't have his passport either. So they're
There
in
you
the same
go.
boat.
Oh. Yo,
We'll go do fun shit and go do excursions, and then the boys
yeah.
are gonna have to stay on the boat by themselves
Has
because of
anyone that's
improper
here
planning.
watching right now ever been on a cruise and know? I swear I seen somebody recently, they went on a cruise and when you stop, it's cash only at those places. Which is kind of weird too, because then you have to do the or cash only card, something like that. But you have to do the exchange too. So how can you have like US currency and go shopping there? Like that's
Well,
weird.
that's something I'm gonna have to Google. I mean,
Yeah. Like I'm
figure
like saying
out.
this stuff. I'm saying this stuff out loud and I'm like, hold on, girl, it doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense. I mean, because really, what I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, if you go to what is it? I think the only other cruise that I've been on with my family is we went to on a Mexican, Caribbean cruise. We went to Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, and Cabo.
Hmm.
And yeah, they had to exchange their currencies, but most of the people took US there anyways, just because I guess it's
My
worth
cousin,
more.
there's some people not commenting. I want to say hi to my cousin Jimmy. Hi, Jeremy. I absolutely love that you're here. Jeremy's somebody that I met out in this area. I still have his pictures in my house, which sounds weird, but they decorated my house for me. So him and his
They
husband
love
decided
giving out love. Yeah.
they decided to print out pictures of themselves and hang them on my
Hey,
walls.
what a way to decorate.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to move somebody and help them move in, I'm damn sure putting my face on their wall
Yeah.
too. So that way you can look at me and just remember all of those
There's
times that
later and they're still up there and they
the
weren't in
amount
frames. Good.
the amount of people that I would have to have hung on my wall for helping me move the upkeep time. I think I've moved like 27 times
Well,
since
no,
I've been
here's the thing.
18 years old.
They didn't help me
Terrible.
move. They helped me unpack and decorate my house a bit. Like, it was
No,
one of my
same,
first few nights here, and they came over and watched the kids, and they
same.
decided to decorate while they were here, and
If
I
they
came
helped you
home
unpack, they helped you move.
yeah.
Period.
Right? Hi, Rachel. So, I was thinking too, and you guys can let me know, and, I'm sure it's something you'd agree with. Um, I was thinking about making a private Facebook group for anyone, that hops on our lives that wants to join that. The reason I would make it private is other people can't, if like you comment on something or post something, it's not going to show up on other people's news feeds,
Mhm.
and if you have to vent about a spouse or a coworker or just having a bad day or something like that, it can be a safe space where you can go and just get it off your chest and nobody else is going to see it besides the people that are in that group.
Yeah, because you're judged pretty hard, especially as a mother,
Yeah, like,
when
you
you
have to
just
be
have to
perfect.
rant and rave about the shit that, at least for me, the shit that my kids put me through on a daily basis. Sometimes you can have a lot of backlash on that. And it's like, oh, how could you say that about your kids? Like, you're not here every day, Karen. Like, come
Yeah.
on now.
Could you imagine, like, if we were allowed to openly say everything I do in my house,
Oh,
you
I do.
know? I'm even scared to say some of the stuff, like, here that I say to my kids. They know I'm joking,
Right?
they absolutely know that I'm joking, but it's just, like, sometimes we just have to let it out,
Yeah.
and it just
Because how else do you?
yeah. They said, like, we
You
don't
don't.
yeah,
We
we
just
don't
harbor it in.
I
Keep
feel
it
like
all in and press it down. Like,
yeah, like, getting support as a woman is easier than getting support as a mother,
mm-hmm.
and it's like some people are lucky enough to get those mom groups where they can go in there and scream, "Fuck them kids," these little fucking
Yep.
bastards, these crotch goblins, whatever you wanna call them, you know, and it's not always bad, like, sometimes we have our good days, but to be able to just fucking scream. You ever just screamed into your pillow because you're so frustrated with being a parent?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have.
Yeah,
I
especially
have.
my daughter. She's got autism. She's been diagnosed with autism since she's been 4, but she's
Well,
very
don't say
high.
obviously, because 'cause I'm the only one here that knows that, everyone else doesn't.
Oh, well, sorry. I forget there's more people that are watching us this
Yeah.
time because my podcast hasn't come out yet. So not a lot of people know who I am, but
Mhm.
um yeah, my daughter was diagnosed when she was 4 and she's very high functioning. And luckily, after getting some therapy and speech therapy, she quickly went from, more nonverbal to using her words and becoming a lot more verbal. Well,
Good.
now she's doing phenomenally great, except her emotions are just a roller coaster. And when I say roller coaster, it can just go from up and down and up and down. There's no stopping it. But she's
Mhm.
got my attitude and her bio dad his rage. So in a snap of a finger, she'll be way up here just ready to go toe to toe with me. And I'm like, girl, don't you quit. Like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Let me just tell you that right now, because I'm the type of mom I will go toe to toe with you if you feel like
Yeah,
today's the day.
likewise.
Mhm.
And it's gotta be tough to deal with too. I was talking to Haley earlier, and I definitely, I have an idea of another mom we can hop on here, have hop on with us and stuff like that, but I would love to, pick stuff like that, topics like that, where it's very specific and, just offer support and have discussions about, even if you're still struggling in addiction, you're welcome here. Everybody's welcome here as long as you're a mom. Dads are welcome too. You just got to be a
And you know
parent.
what? Yeah, you just got to be a
Yeah.
parent in general,
Yeah. You
parent
know.
consistently to understand,
Yeah.
the daily
Grandparent.
struggles.
Your kids don't have to be young, but it's just
I I feel like that's going to be. I mean, you're going to be there a lot closer than I am in the teenage years of with
yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
I still got another 3 years after my son turns 10 till that starts.
My
But I feel like it starts so early.
uh-huh. My daughter's 10
It's
and she's already like I sit here sometimes and I think and I'm like, "Oh, well, what I was doing at 10 years old, like, I will beat her ass if she's upstairs in the shower doing." Like,
Oh
I will
no.
I will break that door down and drag you by your hair out of the shower, girl. Like,
Oh Lord.
and it's also something I try not to do because that's what I was shown, and I don't want them to have the issues I have. But yeah, she's definitely. I'm already thinking about having that, like, starting to have that period talk with
Oh
her,
man.
which
That's
absolutely
serious.
freaks me out. Haley, you
Oh, I
cover your
know.
eyes because you know what I'm talking about. Like I want to say
Haley
it.
knows.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, for the most part, I know the people in the comments. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, whether it be your, just something quick like about your addiction, about you as a mom, your kids, their ages, like whatever you just want to blurt out?
All right. Well, for everybody that doesn't know who I am, I'm Desiree or Ray. People call me both, but yes. Currently living in Clarksville, Tennessee. I am currently 18 months sober. Just got out of treatment 18 months ago. Went through the ringer when it came to getting help and getting treatment. Always struggled with addiction for the past 6 years, from heroin to meth and cocaine, everything, all the above. I ended up having to fight for full custody of my children against my parents. And that was a big struggle because, you know, being in addiction is already hard enough.
Yeah.
And when you come out and you're in that recovery stage, everything's, hard. Everything's harder to go through. And I felt like that a lot of people, even though I was doing so good and I was on the path, to success, getting myself established, a job and stuff like that, there was still those people that just did not understand what addiction was and
Yeah.
how long you can really be affected from it. Well, I ended up having my family fight me for full custody. Not only did they get custody, but then found out through court trials and all of that fun legal ramifications of that my parents were unfit according to the state, and I lost my state to the kids. Oh, hi. And yeah, so lost my kids to the state and ended up getting them back in July of last year. So watched my kids go through the foster care system, and that was a struggle in itself. But I was blessed beyond all belief that I had a foster family that was absolutely amazing and had definitely helped my kids become children again from everything that I've kind of put them through. My son is going to be 10 on our birthday in May, and my daughter just turned 8 in January,
May what?
and May 6th.
Mine's the
We're both.
21st.
Yeah, we're on the same day, so we get to celebrate
Tauruses.
together. Yeah.
Lovely Tauruses, I can imagine.
I know. Very
Haley,
much so.
Haley said, "I'm so happy and grateful you got your babies back, Desiree."
Thank you. I am
And
too.
I will obviously we're going to be advertising her episode dropping, but I recorded with her and she definitely listen. Some people are always like, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" And it's just like you got to open your eyes sometimes because blessings come as long as you're willing to accept them. They will come. They
Yeah.
will find
You're
you, and
ready.
things will happen the way they're supposed to. Don't fight it.
Yeah. If
You
you're
know.
ready to fucking go after it, you're going to go after it. There's
Yeah.
no excuse for it. There's no woe is me pity party like, oh,
With
this is what I've
everything.
gone through because I put myself through it. No, shit. I put myself through that, and I'm going to have to be the only one to drag myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And being able to spread that, recovery, hope of message, I'm very blessed to
With
be
your
able to be in
with
that
your with
position.
your clean slate today.
Yeah, with my clean slate today. I love that.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Really.
We went to Cycle Gear earlier because me and Jared ride bikes, motorcycles, and I wanted to get a new helmet,
Mm-hmm.
some new gloves because the strap is kind of given away, which I found it so weird. So I love like I'm gonna put on my nails. I'll show you them when I'm done. Completely off topic. I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but like trying to find gloves that I can wear on the motorcycle where I can have my nails done. It's like, what the fuck? Can I like use get like rubber gloves and like fucking glue them onto the tip or something? I was even thinking too, like cutting the tips off of my gloves so I can have my nails. Like I don't wear nails in the summer because I can't fit them on with my gloves.
I'm gonna make Dylan find me some
Yeah,
when
like
we go
it's
riding on the back of the
but like if
Harley.
you keep them like a normal length, like let me see yours. Are yours like
Yeah.
crazy long or they're kind of normal? Yeah, see those you would
No,
be
they're
able to
not
find.
too long.
Yeah. Those you would be able to let me see, am I gonna just put you on a bigger screen so I can see it better?
Oh, they're not that
Yeah.
long.
These are the ones that I'm
Yeah.
about to put on. Let me take them out of the case. So so they look better. I'm about to put these on.
Oh yeah, those are long as shit.
Yeah, and like this is short for me. So to
Those
find
are
gloves,
short for you?
yeah, those are short for me. I haven't been wearing nails in a while, so like I'm kind of like trying to get back into the groove of having them on.
Mhm.
So I wore another set for the past 2 weeks, and then now I'm putting these on, and like yeah, I'm thinking about just cutting the tips off of my gloves.
Fuck it. Do
Yeah,
it.
right. Haley said, "Blessings come as soon as you're open and ready, and you are there. You got this, and a community of badass moms in recovery are here for y'all. Haley, you're a badass mom too. I want to tell you that. But yeah, so we were at the store. I was trying on pants. They don't like I can't find in the store women's pants for the motorcycles that you can put like the padding and stuff like that in.
Mhm.
So I've been shopping for men's. And here's a little pointer that I just lucked out and got an amazing cashier for. If you are ever looking to wear men's jeans, you take your size in women and add 21 to it,
Hmm.
and you'll get your men's size 20 or 21. And that's your size in men's.
Seems legit.
Just a little tip for everyone.
Just a little tip.
No, but it's hard for me. Like men don't have butts and thighs and stuff like that. Like the guy that was helping me today was pretty shapy. He was like, I wasn't really paying attention to him, and then when he walked away, I was like, okay, I just said a lot of shit that you can relate to. Like he had thighs, he had an ass, he had everything.
He had
Little,
everything.
little short guy, but it's like I don't know. I've been struggling finding jeans that are comfortable to wear on the bike. I found this really cool sweater today, but that you can put like the padding in and take the padding out. So it's like, I could wear it as a regular sweater to work
Mhm.
and shit like that and around and on the bike. Um, but I finally got my kids separated and they weren't like screaming or anything like that. They were playing in the store around expensive stuff, like playing
Mhm.
tag and stop touching me and oh, I'm gonna get you. And I
My
finally got my
favorite is when they hide in the clothing
uh-huh.
racks,
Yep.
get in the middle of them, and then they jump out at other people. Yep, that's what my kids do.
And they scare the shit out of you.
Yep. Mhm.
So I
On
finally
a
got
daily.
Jordan to go with Jared, and I had just Lily with me. He's off doing whatever. We had other people meet us there, other people from our motorcycle group. We all just kind of, hey, do you need something from Cycle Gear? This is when we're meeting. Like, let's all go hang out. So he's off with other people. So I got Jordan to go with him. And then he sees me and he's like, oh, babe, what are you looking at? And comes over with Jordan. And they started again. And Desiree, I was already hot. There's nowhere to sit in this place besides in the fitting room. I tried getting some water from the water fountain. It's fucking piss warm and tastes like metal.
Mm.
So I'm just like, it was too much. It was too much. And I just said, fuck this. Literally dropped the jacket on the ground and I'm like, I'm going out to the van. I'm going outside. And like they weren't even like I was in the van thinking like, yo, like they weren't screaming. They weren't throwing tantrums on the ground. But like as our kids get older, those it turns into different stuff.
Yep.
It's different struggles on different levels and it's
But that's also a combination of letting that build up and not having that venting, capabilities as a mom,
mhm.
because your anxiety level is just so high, even at a breaking point where you you can only handle so much, and it's those little things that normally on an everyday basis wouldn't be, you know, wouldn't make you snap, but today's the day you're gonna snap because it just
Yeah.
you have no outlet.
And then it's like I thought to myself too when I went out in the van, I was like, should I have texted Jared? Look, he's here now too. Should I have texted him and let him know, like, hey, even though he knew I was frustrated the whole fucking ride up there because that damn pizza,
Hmm.
that stuffed pizza the whole way. Like, should I have told him to keep Jordan away from me, or should he have known?
No, you can't
Like,
expect. You can never expect a men to be on the same wavelength as your
uh,
brain, because as a mom, your brain goes a million different directions all at once.
yeah,
And
it's just fucking.
not saying that guys are incapable of that, but it's a little bit more difficult when, yeah, that's all my opinion.
see what Haley said. Haley said, "My nails are stiletto shaped, so just in case someone tests the Jesus in me, they think I'm not from the south side of the kingdom."
That's great.
See, and that's like I have other ones. I just took them out of my bag, but like I said, that's short for me. So
Hmm.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, like I think to myself a lot of times too, and I'm sure you do too, like, what the fuck? Like,
There's not a day that goes by that I'm not.
like,
Yeah.
uh, and I was watching this, I watched this video. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before or something like that. And it was talking about like emotional or mental exhaustion for moms. And this guy was using an example. He was making muffins. His wife had made muffins, and he watched her take them out of the oven and set them on top of the oven to cool off. And then his daughter asked for one. So he shouted to his wife in the other room, "Hey, can I give her one of these muffins right now?" And then he's like, "When I could have just taken the few extra seconds to think or touch it and realize that it's hot. And maybe I
Hmm.
need to cut it in half." Like he could have processed that himself. Instead, whatever his wife, you know, spouse, mother of his child, was doing in the other room, like she had to stop focusing on what she was doing to focus on giving me an answer that I could have just figured out on my own. That
Yep.
that stuff
Very
bothers
true.
that bothers me because we have to do so much problem solving in our own mind
Hmm.
constantly, nonstop, thinking, 2 hours ahead of what we're doing. And it's
It's overwhelming.
yeah, I was done. I was done. Before I got to that extra point where I was screaming or, my blood pressure, like I just removed myself from the situation. Even though
Hmm.
there was stuff I still wanted to get, I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. No, I had and I think we talked about it on the podcast, but just I think we touched base on it, like how, for me it was my emotions that I became so emotional, like when I was an addict and stuff like that. So me becoming sober now, me experiencing emotions, I feel like is so much harder because I'm afraid of that, and
Yeah.
with therapy and stuff, of course you learn how to handle your emotions differently. But, I was explaining to Dylan that I just remember being in the bath and I remember him coming in and, was just asking me like, what was wrong? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I just started crying. And I was just like, you don't understand. Like, it's the mental, physical, emotional exhaustion that it takes to be a mom. Like, and before, he came into my life, it, I had to put myself in that, the mental state that it's all on me, even though he is completely 100% there for me, financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, for my kids, for everything. But even then, I still have to remind myself of that I have that help and that I'm blessed with that help. Because for me as a mom, and before him as a single mom, you know, the state that everything's on me as a mother financially to support my kids, that it's on me, to handle my kids. Oh, hello, kids.
There's that fucking slice of pizza.
There's the.
You have a piece of my heart. That's what it said.
Hey, that's exactly what I said.
What? Jared's upstairs. What's on him? Okay. Well, then play. Like, fuck them kids. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, just as this, before he came into my life, I'm still having to train myself to, be okay to know that I have help and that I can lean on him, as my significant other, as my man, like as somebody that's there for my kids, that my kids look up to in that way. Because I'm so used to running myself dry and running off
Yeah.
of a quote, what do they call it? An empty cup. And you can't help anybody if your cup's empty.
Mm-hmm.
But even just to get out of that state of mind, to know that it's not all on me anymore is a comfortable thing, but it's hard. It's hard as a mom.
I was gonna ask too, like, where's that line too? Like, do you ever think like I step back sometimes and I'm like, maybe I put too much on Jared's plate from my plate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever where is that line where we think that we're like you said, expecting too much from them? And should there be a point, because like Dylan, he's not their biological father. He's there, Jared's not my kid's biological father, but he's here. He is a parent,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like fucking glue, I think, is old and dried up, and I just bought it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard for me to not want to intervene on certain things with because Dylan handles himself very well, especially with Paisley. With Gunner, I needed more help with Gunner in a sense because he never had that father figure in his life. His biological dad took off 3 months after he was born and has never come back since. Well, up until when he tried coming for me for full custody just
Oh.
recently, and Gunnar got to meet his dad. But ever since I got custody back, his dad's now MIA again, out the picture. If he couldn't have him, no, he didn't want him. And yeah, Dylan is amazing at stepping in and communicating with me about how he knows that I've done everything that I could, and I've done a great job with them with what I'm able to do. But a boy needs a boy needs a man in his life to shape him
Yeah.
to what a man is supposed to be, when they're older. And with Dylan, he had such.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at something else.
I was laughing at the comment.
Yeah, that's what.
What does the FTK stand for?
It does not stand.
It does not stand for the kids.
Kids.
That's what it stands
Sorry.
for. Lord. But
Could be. There we go. That's why we say the parents. It's
yep,
for the kids.
it's either for the kids or fuck them kids. It's
Yeah.
one or the other.
All right. I'm looking for this other glue real quick. Yeah, and see, that's like me too in my mind sometimes because like my son does have his father,
Yeah.
so it's like, where obviously, we're not throwing Jared in his face, but it's like sometimes like, you're there when his dad's not, and to offer that support, I think, okay. Hold on. This is driving me fucking bonkers because it was just in here. It absolutely was just in here. Do you want to pull Haley's comment? Oh, I found it. Her comment up on the screen
It won't let me.
and
I'm
read it.
hovering
Oh,
over it.
okay. Does it have an option for you to show?
Nope.
Okay.
You
So
want me to
Haley, yeah, you can read it. Go ahead.
Oh. Haley said, I think my daughter's dad handles our daughter and knows her how to tame her attitude way better than me. She looks like me, but her personality is all me. That's absolutely 110% true,
And
especially
then
when it comes for how I relate to that. Because Dylan has I want to say he's quick witted to snap. And I think that's, from him being in jail and all that stuff. Like it's very much, it's hard, but he's had to learn to adapt to Paisley and understand her emotions. And it looks like him.
I'm sorry. Did you read the
Well, I'm fuck them kids for the kids.
Well, I'm for the kids. I have caught child predators so they don't F the K in your
Yeah.
terms. Thank you for coming in and having some humor with us too. And they're coming in from YouTube. So do you see how that one's different? Can you
Yeah,
see like
it is
okay.
different.
Yep.
You can tell what comes
So
from Facebook and what comes from YouTube.
yeah. So like right here, like I was telling you before, like I could respond to this comment on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not gonna see it. What? The box for it is upstairs in the corner where all the garbage is. Babe, you can hop over onto YouTube, maybe talk to this person. Did you see it or you're not in here? You're not watching it anymore? he stopped in and said, "Hey, what does the FTK stand for?" Because he's for the kids.
Oh.
So, and then he said, "Well, I'm FTK for the kids. I have caught child predators, so they don't FTK in your kids."
Ah.
Which is very humorous. Thank you for that.
I'll go get it for you.
Thank you. I don't need it
We're
in
all
here. I
for
just want it so I can return
we're
it.
all for supporting that hat for that
Yeah,
getting sick individuals off the streets.
absolutely. And I appreciate you being here and watching from YouTube. We are for the kids in that sense too.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing I want to bring back to like something that you brought up before too. Like, I hate when people are like, "Oh, well, you're so, what you went through as a child made you strong." But why are we forcing our kids to be strong and not letting them be kids?
Exactly.
You
I feel like
know,
I have to remind myself to allow my kids to be kids. But in a sense, with today's world that they're growing up in, I I can't not be real with them
yeah,
because when I was 10, that's not the same world that we live in now.
absolutely.
And when you're 10 now in today's generation, you've got to be a hell of a lot more alert. It's scary.
Mhm.
It's
It is.
terrifying what they
Yeah.
go through and how much they're exposed to and how much kids, know about at their age. So in reality, yes, I want my kids to be able to experience their childhood because as an addict and the things that I've had my kids watch, the domestic abuse that, my son watched from my daughter's father and me and fighting and all of that, like it's made him become, I want to say, the most mature 10-year-old that I've ever met. I mean, everybody that meets him is like, he is like a 30-year-old man in a 10-year-old's body, and I have to
Yeah.
live with that because that's what I put him through. But I want him to have a healthy childhood and to be able to be a child. But my son is now that type of person because of what he's gone through, where he's worried about, he doesn't want me to spend money on him because I want to be able for you to buy a house, mom. I want you to be able to, for us to do these things and for you to, not have to worry about money. And it's like, you should never have to worry about something like that. You
Yeah.
should be able to,
Like you
know
saying,
that I've got it.
yeah. My kids, they would know when the arguing would start. They would go to a certain room in the house and they'd lock the door. And they would only unlock it if I knocked on the door a certain way.
Mhm.
Or if they heard no sounds and I was there, I'd wait until things got quiet. Um, and like I would talk about that stuff and I'd feel so disgusted that like my kids know this at such a young age. But then I also had to look at it in a sense that it was protecting them from the environment that I put them in. So, I removed ourselves from the environment.
Yeah.
We still kept I have a metal baseball bat by my front door. I call it ping. That's the sound it makes when it hits something. Uh, we have a plastic one in the living room for the back door. But like my ex showed up here one day. It was the creepiest shit ever, Desiree. We were having a sleepover in the living room. So I brought we had all the pillows on the ground. We brought all the blankets downstairs. Like cushions were everywhere. We had snacks and we were literally just having a huge slumber party in the living room because why
Mhm.
not? You know? And I went to go plug the fan in and my curtain was open a little bit and my back porch light was on. And I see this motherfucker standing at my back door. At my fucking back door. We haven't dealt we hadn't dealt with this in almost a year. I had left him almost a year prior to this happening. And I literally just said to my kids, "Go upstairs now." And they didn't even question it. It's like they just heard that tone
Mhm.
and they went right upstairs into the room and locked the door. And it's just like even now, like it feels so sick that they
Yeah.
know that. Like it had been a year and they still knew, okay,
They
this is
knew how to
mom's
react.
tone. Yeah, this is mom's
Mhm.
tone. Like we're going, we're not even questioning it. Because you tell your kids to do something on a day-to-day basis, they're like, "Why? Why? I don't want to do that."
Mhm.
But in that moment, they went.
They
They went right
knew.
upstairs.
That switch flipped
Yeah,
from their
and it's
past
just
and knowing like, "Oh, mom's serious. This is what we have to do." And it's
yeah,
that trained reaction
yeah.
based
So I
on
think
what we've
now, like I overcompensate with letting them be kids, and taking care of them and not really giving them responsibilities. And that's something I'm learning right now, like giving them age appropriate responsibilities in the home. My daughter does the
Mhm.
dishes and my son cleans the bathroom. You don't want to hold your little fucking pecker while you go to the bathroom. You want to piss on my toilet lid? You know what? Once a day when you go into that bathroom, you take the cleaner that's on the side of the toilet and you spray the underneath of that lid,
Yep. Till
and
you
you
get some
take
accuracy under your
Yep,
belt, you're gonna be
and
taking care of it.
I have piles of disposable, like, all-purpose cleaner wipes, and you wipe that
Mhm.
off, and you take the scrubber, and you scrub the inside of that toilet, and then flush it down, and that is your chore every day,
Mhm.
and it's just before I would do it, I'd check it every once in a while, you know how much I throw up, of course, I'm gonna see the stuff in the toilet, I throw up a lot, so I used to do
Yeah.
it, and now I'm like, "You know what? Like, he's old enough, like, this is something that he can do."
Yeah.
I'm gonna read some comments real quick too. So Haley said, "I love that. Let them be kids, but also love what Desiree is saying with what our kids are exposed to every day. I am fortunate my daughter has no filter with me and tells me everything, but I'm blown by the stuff she tells me at her age." Yeah, it's fucking
See?
and
That's great.
Haley's daughter's 14, so I can only imagine.
And that's great, Haley,
Yeah.
that your daughter can, be open with you like that because that's the one thing that scares me is I knew when I was a teenager, I would seclude myself from my parents. My parents didn't know what I was going through, what I was doing. But for me as a mom, I want to have that open communication with them. Like, okay, your friends are already talking about, drinking and stuff like that. All right, you're 15 years old. Have a drink with me at home. I want you to understand what that feels like first and what ramifications can come from that, except for, you trying to do it all by yourself and God forbid something happens.
Yeah. And I think it
Yeah,
goes
that's
back
great.
to what you're saying, like being open and having open line of
Mhm.
communication just about other stuff.
Real
If you hear
conversation.
your kids saying something, like sitting down and having a calm conversation instead of yelling at them and, talking about stuff in the moment, I think will definitely help our kids to get older and be open with us like that, and that's so helpful. Like you said, not hiding stuff,
Yeah.
and that grows into them being, adults and coming to us for advice when they become parents. Or
Mhm.
if they're struggling with substances or have questions about substances, they'll be more prone to come to us instead of filling in those blanks. And I think that's
Yep.
the most dangerous thing to let our kids do is fill in those blanks.
Yep.
Sometimes, yes. Like, I don't remember what my kids asked me the other day, and I was like, you don't need to know that yet."
Mhm.
So FTK said, "Child predation, predation. I don't know." Went to the wayside as it's happened for centuries. It's been normalized, and we need to fight against it so kids can be kids. Yep.
Absolutely. I
Just
like what he
because
said there.
just because
Mhm.
something made us strong doesn't mean it's right, and that's my biggest thing. Is just
Yep.
because it made us strong doesn't mean it was right.
Mhm.
You know. Hi, Chuck. Chuck from Ash is Awesome said hi.
Hi,
Um,
Chuck.
Haley said, "I struggle with trying to parent from guilt still, even though I'm 403 days sober." Congratulations, Haley. I was an awesome mom, right? I was an awesome mom, but she knew I had a horrible problem with alcohol when she never saw me drink outside our house and hide my bottles throughout the house and any space I could think of. So I had to work on that and just be mom. Yeah. And it's hard, to have our kids see us through that.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like, we're this regular person, like, they go through that change too. Their life
Mhm.
was they knew one thing just like we knew one thing, and then all of a sudden it's just,
Yep. But I also
"Hey,
think
here's a
that,
new
like,
person." Go ahead.
you what?
Go ahead.
Oh, no. No, I think that, congratulations, Haley, on 403 days sober. That's amazing in itself. I can relate right along to that. But, um, yeah, the things that I have mom guilt about and being able to remember my kids only knew, me being in my bathroom. They could be in the bathroom and I would just be knocked out in a chair being so high, and hopefully, even though they, had to witness that, hopefully they can, take lessons and learn what I put myself through and know that they don't want the same outcome in their life.
Yeah. I
The only thing you can do is a good mom going from here on out forward.
and that's kind of what helped me get sober is like I was sitting back and just like looking at their lives and looking at my lives and watching how, they reacted to stuff and how they handled situations. And I was just like, oh, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're setting your kids up for failure. You're being a failure. Like, get it the fuck together.
Yeah.
And they always say you can only get sober for yourself, but it's
You
those.
can. You can't get sober for anybody else
Oh yeah,
but you.
yeah. You can't get
Period. Your
sober for
kids
your
aren't going to
kids.
make you sober. Your
No,
parents aren't going to make you get sober.
nobody.
Nobody.
Hold on. Just keep going down, even though Amber said, I've been clean 13 years and still have that mom guilt. Good.
You should not have mom guilt after 13 years. That's a success story in itself.
Yeah.
We're always going to have the guilt of the things that we put our kids through, put ourselves through, but you've obviously risen above it. I mean, 13 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I
Yep.
can't wait
And I
to
know
get to that point.
I've seen Amber through a lot, and I definitely think you should be proud of where you're at. You know, we're not perfect. We're humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though we want to be perfect for our kids and have our kids see us as these perfect people, we're not. And like, how fake would that be if we only presented ourselves as perfect to our kids? Like, I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
that would
that's
be
like what
setting them up for failure too.
yeah, that's what we talked about on my podcast
Yeah.
was if we were to just shush the fact of, okay, that never happened. I'm mom now, coming back into the picture and I'm sober, even though you saw all those bad things, but let's just not think about that. Let's just put that
Yeah.
to the wayside. Like, no, absolutely
Yeah.
not. My kids know
Yeah.
everything there needs to know about recovery because if anything, as my kids get older, my kids are all going to be a part of the people that hold me accountable because they know what to look for.
No.
They know that mommy
They
was
know
sick
more than
from
anybody
drugs.
else.
They know more than anyone else what mom looks
Yeah.
like when she's high or when mom's having a bad day or God forbid if I did ever relapse. Like they know what
Yeah.
that looks like and they know how to tell me
Yeah.
like,
And
hey,
they're on
something's wrong here.
the most intimate levels with us too.
Mm-hmm.
So put Haley's other comment up here. Oh, I gotta use this. I'm like, why is the mouse not moving? Haley said, I think me being 100% honest with her about everything when I got sober made her realize I was her person to come to when she can't with her father. Yeah. And like you said, boys need dads, girls need their moms.
Absolutely.
They need us for different things. I'm going to skip over Jen's comment. Haley said, Amber, so it's not just me, thank God. And then Amber responded, no. Haley was saying hi to Chuck. You just had to come say hi to the ladies. You love MILFs. We get it. Haley said, same, Desiree. Thank you so much hold on, for both of you saying that. Definitely proud of you, Amber. We will never be perfect. That is the damn fucking truth.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It hasn't been easy, but I found Bree when I was struggling a little bit. And listen, like I said, Amber, you talk to the other Amber, so I know a little bit more than you think I know. And I just want to say, that I'm proud of you for being honest. I say that being honest, going through stuff and going through struggles and still being accountable enough where you can be honest with other people that don't know you from a fucking hole in the wall and you don't have to be honest with, you know. Haley said it would be so messed up for their futures if we didn't acknowledge the past. My daughter is huge in my recovery and my friends in recovery. She knows we are her safe place. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then Chuck, of course, said, bah, ha, ha, true story. I don't know how I'm feeling about these nails because they're not just straight. They're like really curved in. You see that?
I don't understand how you'd even wipe your ass with that,
Like
but
it's like curved in. Normally they're straighter. Like I'm trying to use the little pad on the laptop and I can't because the nails are so curved that I can't even get the balls of my fingers onto it. It'll take a little bit to get used to.
Yeah, that's why I can't have long nails.
So, Amber, I have a question. Amber said, my daughter is 14 and it's scary. And you said you have 13 years sober. So it's like, how much, like, how do you, I want to ask her a question without like putting all of her business out there, but it's like, how are you still struggling like with that mom guilt? Like, do you want to explain in the comments? We can put it up on the screen because I'm sure there's other moms that have gone through the same thing and feel the same way. I don't want, this isn't my platform to share your story. So it's definitely, if you want to bring it up, you absolutely can. You want to bring up what you went through recently, but like, you know, you do the math, your daughter was a year old when you stopped. So I know the guilt probably never goes away. The guilt of everything, like the guilt of me being an addict and putting my kids through, what I put them through, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it gets easier,
Yeah.
and
I
that
mean, my daughter
forgiveness.
doesn't remember nowhere near as much as my son does.
And like you said
And
too,
I'm,
that forgiveness,
mm-hmm.
like you have to forgive yourself. You can't condemn yourself and kick yourself in the ass for the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
for making a mistake. So it's just sorry about the YouTube comments. I think it's the FTK that's gonna get that organization I was telling you about last night on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Got us some crazy stuff. And like some of our lives every once in a while they trickle in. And I think that's what's happening here.
Hey, that's
So
okay.
yeah. So Amber
Been
said I
through way
lost.
crazy.
Yeah. Listen, if it's on this one, that's only starting. I like
Mm-hmm.
it sometimes though too. Like listen, I encourage you guys too. Haley's doing it, check. You guys can talk amongst each other too. Like you don't have to just talk to us. Like, please. That's what we're here for. Like support each other in the comments also.
Mm-hmm.
This is a safe space. Just remember, other people can see whatever you say. So Amber said, I lost 2 kids to the system, so I feel bad. I have 4 here and not the other 2. I have 3 and I only have 2 in my home. And Amber, let me say, I can't even talk about it. I don't even talk to Jared about it. I don't even think my therapist knows that I have 3 kids. So I get the pain, but yeah, I can't either, Amber. Um,
That's a
I get
hard, that's a hard subject, and now I can understand why,
yeah.
that mom guilt. But you know, at some point when I had my kids go into the foster care system, like I said, I'm very blessed that the foster family was really active with. I mean, they're still active in my lives now. I mean, they, take the kids on the weekends. My kids consider them part of their family, and consider like their brother, and they have brothers and sisters within that family, and I can respect
Uh,
that. And but at some point when I was at my lowest, when my kids were in the foster care system, I had to break down and told myself like, would it be best, what situation would warrant it being the best situation for my kids to, that they are in a better place. And that's hard to,
hold on.
to wonder that.
Yeah, and like I think I didn't lose my daughter because of my addiction. The courts never knew that I was using nothing. I lost her because I didn't have as much support as her father did. So in a way, I kind of did lose her to my addiction because if I wasn't using, I would have had a much better support system around me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I indirectly did, but it was never the direct reason why her father got custody. So Amber said I just did 8 months in jail for my past, came home to a mess that I had to get under control. Chuck, of course, said, Haley, I feel like Brianna is trying to set us up, and who are we to argue with destiny? Drug and alcohol-free boredom, or I mean, house waiting for you here in Thailand. Haley said Amber correct. 14-year-old are monsters on hormones. I'm gonna plug Chuck real quick. Chuck lives in Thailand. He had the opportunity, and anybody has this opportunity too. It's called the Yatra Trauma Center. They do sponsorships as well. You just have to fill out, financial paperwork and stuff like that. And I'm sure there's a lot more that goes to it. But it's a 30-day inpatient intensive trauma center.
Hmm.
And you get to fucking go to Thailand.
I've heard a lot of cool things about Thailand.
Yeah. So they accept insurance, but a lot of insurances don't.
Yeah. Cover you going all the way to Thailand.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. There's the words. So they do offer, the financial support and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just amazing that that's out there. Like you're not even just, you don't even, you're not just getting that trauma support. Like you're fucking traveling somewhere else, and the fact that they'll provide the financial services for it is amazing as well.
Absolutely.
No, Amber said, yes, she just got her first job. What can kids do at 14?
They can be like a bagger at a grocery store. Or
Does anyone really bag groceries anymore?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, we
Baggers
don't
kind
have
of got
bags, we
replaced
gotta
by their own self checkout.
Yeah. So Haley said, I never lost my daughter an addiction. I let her dad take over for me because I did die. And I couldn't keep letting her around me to see me, and I wasn't going to let her die. So he had been awesome, and I can see her whenever I want.
That's great to
Amber
have that
said,
support.
oh, yeah. So I feel I got to do more with them because feel the pieces missing. And then she said a cashier. What the? Jared's, like, we were just talking about this. Jared's upstairs. Why does it sound like there's a stampede of elephants upstairs in my house right now? Like, shit
But
just
that's
shook in this
really
room.
my camera just came down because I'm actually getting a phone call from my dad.
Wow. Crazy how that, are you going to call him when we get off?
He's leaving a voicemail apparently.
Yeah.
I'm watching it on my phone. This is the dad that went after full custody of me and my kids.
I was going to ask that too.
Doesn't
Like,
really have a relationship with me. He doesn't really talk to me though. So
I was going to
most
say,
of the time, anytime he's ever called me, it's been a butt dial. So I'm gonna assume.
How does that make you feel when you see his name come on your phone? Or are you just like numb? Like I'm numb to certain things. Like they give me feelings, but I fucking push them bitches down, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm a tough cookie.
It's hard. I want to say that because I got a lot of my communication skills from my dad and from his mom. His mom was a therapist for many years. And my dad always taught me, it doesn't have to be a confrontation, it can be a conversation. And
I like that.
Yeah. And so my dad had a lot to do with my upbringing, just like my mom. But yeah, I mean, it makes it a very awkward relationship now because I have so many harsh feelings. Now my stepmom has another side of how she thinks about me, and she's right to her opinion.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of that sway, he's basing his emotions now and how he treats me off of her feelings. He's supporting his wife, which I can respect that, just like I would support my significant other, which I have in the past. But like it's just I wish that relationship could be revisited. And I've offered that. I've offered, if they wanted to have anything to do with my kids, because or I can't say my kids, because my daughter doesn't mentally connect the pieces. Now my son, he wants nothing to do with them. And I have to respect his emotions that he does not want anything to do with them because of what's happened and what they did. But when they've tried to come back and ask to spend time with the kids and all of that, it's like, all right, but you don't get to have a relationship with my kids and not with me. And if you think that this is going to happen, there's got to be a lot of therapy that comes, from now till whenever you want to see that happen.
Yeah.
And they haven't wanted to do anything about that yet. So
It seemed kind of like my dad's caused a lot of issues, and he didn't raise me. He's not really that active in my kids' lives. They know who he is. Are him and I ever going to fix the issues? No, because he's not aware of this stuff. And if
mhm.
he is, he won't take accountability for it. But I don't stop him from seeing my kids and having that relationship with them.
Yeah.
I can be cordial with him, and he's a he's like a herpes outbreak. He just pops up out of nowhere.
Oh Lord.
Jared got christened by him last summer. It was like 1:30 in the morning. My dad called, and he normally only calls me when him and his wife are arguing. So I didn't want to answer. It's fucking 1:30 in the morning. I'm not dealing with this. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off. I fucking ignored it and continued playing on my phone. And then my coworker messages me and goes, "Your dad's in the parking lot at work."
Oh.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I took a little bit to process that. It probably
Yeah.
felt like 5 minutes, but it probably wasn't even a minute. And then I called my dad. And they came, Jared's kids were here. We had a full fucking house. I got a 2-bedroom.
Mhm.
We had 5 kids in the house and 2 adults already, and you guys are gonna show up? Like, here's the couch. Here's the recliners on
Yeah.
the couch. Like, that's all I have for you. But that's
Mhm.
like my dad's they were on vacation, traveling. My dad knew what state park I lived by and where I worked. So they spent the day at that state park, went out to eat, did whatever. And then at 1:30 in the morning, you want to just pop up at my house. You couldn't have fucking sent me a text during the day or say any of that shit. Do you know how bad, Desiree, I want to just be like, no, go find somewhere else to stay?
Mm. At some point, you have to protect your own mental well-being. And
And that's the thing.
unfortunately, that doesn't mean that you have to people please to others in their
It's like
time of need
a double-edged
because
sword because my kids are always
yeah.
happy to see him.
Mhm.
I may not be, but they're happy.
See, and that's how I felt. That's how I felt before too. And after doing a lot of talking with my family and my boyfriend and stuff like that, it's a hard pill to swallow that relationship is tarnished, and it is what it is because of me relapsing and me going through addiction. But it's like, but you would think at some point you would, as parents, you would want to see your child succeed. And with all the success that I've had, I mean, before 6 months sober, I had, or before, right at 6 months sober, I had a brand new car, a brand new townhouse, not only a job, I gotten promoted within a job to be a salary, within that company.
Yeah. It's like,
That's
how
pretty
long are
damn
they?
good for
Yeah.
for not knowing
Pretty,
anybody in
pretty
the
damn
state.
good.
That's pretty damn good for an ex heroin junkie. I mean,
Uh,
come on now.
my dad was my drug dealer for a while.
Yeah, I know it's raised in any
He
of that
was
type of situation.
before I started using the fentanyl because he didn't have that. He had the prescription right from the pharmacy, and it's just, I think that's a lot of the weight on the relationship
Hmm.
is, he knowingly supported my habit. And just because
Yeah,
it wasn't an issue for him, clearly it was an issue for me because you're driving to me once a month to sell 90 pills. The fuck did you think was going on?
yeah.
Really, what the fuck did you think was going on? And I don't know if that's ever, I've
Clicked for
tried
some people.
I've tried unloading, the trauma of, a kid with therapists and stuff like that. You know what happens every single time? I fucking run. Don't wanna talk about this, you know? And I don't know if it's something I'll ever be ready to talk about,
Yeah.
And it's just it's a lot. Did your dad butt dial you?
No, he just called me back again.
No.
Oh,
Isn't that
this is-
crazy though that we're sitting here and loading fuck them kids, and now your dad's
well, it's funny that I even at work, like the girls that I work with, like I don't know what it is about it, but they make fun of me because I will speak people into existence. I'll be talking about somebody and talking about somebody that we work with or something like that, and here, unbeknownst to me, they come walking right around the corner. I was like, I was just talking shit about you, like, and here you are. Like,
welcome.
and welcome,
Uh,
welcome.
fucking makes me not want to talk. Does it make you not want to talk about certain people?
What?
When you talk about them, they fucking pop up.
Oh, I wasn't ever
Or they
talking
come
shit about
around.
people. I was
Yeah.
most of the
No,
time
no,
I'm
no.
like, oh, I wonder how this person's doing. But then they come
No.
up around the corner. I'm like, I was just sitting here. I always say that when people walk into a conversation, or if I'm talking about something, I'm like, I was just talking shit about you, and here you
Mhm.
are. Come
I
join
do
the
that.
conversation now.
I do
Like,
that at work
no.
with customers. I'm like, oh hey. It's just and go over a little bit about like what me and Desiree are doing here too. It's just some lighthearted, fun conversations. If we're ever struggling with something, any of it. The only requirement to be here is to have a kid. Doesn't matter the age. You could be raising your grandkids. And just need somewhere to just go and vibe and chat with other parents.
Absolutely.
It is
We talk about
something.
everything,
Yeah, everything and anything.
everything and anything.
Fuck them kids for the kids.
Fuck them kids for the kids.
And it's a lot. Our kids can't support us. Our spouses don't always know how to support us. This is just an environment where we can relate to other women, parents, and just get shit off of our chest. I did, talk to Desiree about having, like, I guess I'll call them like awareness episodes. Maybe we'll come up with a different
Mhm.
name for it or something, but talking about specific struggles that we have as a parent, something specific that, a lot of people can relate to, but might be like a more taboo topic. Um, and, inviting other people to come on and join us on screen for the
Yeah,
conversation,
absolutely.
So I think that would
And
be
once I get the podcast up and running on my side, then
dope.
we can talk about a lot more things.
Yeah. And like I said too, just create it and get it up and going. When we're on here, you can stream to it. Even if nobody at that moment is coming from that platform,
Mhm.
it's still getting, stuff out there. It's still getting
Absolutely.
something out there, and you could choose to share it. You don't have to. I'd appreciate, people in the comments. I know everybody, that comes in here is from, the Blacklist, but if you want to, share it out, other moms that are struggling, even dads too. There's dads that have full custody of their kids where the
Mhm.
mother's not in the picture and stuff like that. It's just a nice little environment, you know.
It will
Um,
be. I know. Did you see that I actually put my podcast name under my name today? I did. I did because it's in the works now. I'm
yeah,
excited about it.
I love the name too.
Clean Slate
Oh, see,
Chronicles.
that's why it wasn't. When I click on a comment, our names go away underneath our pictures.
Oh.
And I had just looked earlier real quick and then didn't notice it. And I was like, what in the world? Like, I swear they're there.
They're there.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah, and it's, something that, obviously I was telling Dylan yesterday too, or Friday. I was like, I think this is going to be really good for me too because you seem a lot more organized than I am. And I have all these fucking thoughts all the time, and I'll remember like one of them to do it.
Mhm.
So like when we have those like specific topics and everything like that, Desiree will be the the lady keeping us on track.
Keeping everything in line
Yes. So
with
because
whips and chains in the background.
I'm sure some of us
Get
wouldn't
it
mind
together,
that.
Brianna.
Don't say that if Chuck's still here. but I give him
Just
like
for you, Chuck.
I give him like a minute because there is a little delay. I give him a minute to hop in and say something. Chuck from Ashes to Awesome is we go live with him on Fridays for Black Ash,
Oh, nice.
and he was on his best behavior on Friday, and then yesterday he fucking went off in our little group chat. We will be starting, whether it be today or sometime this week, a private group for all the parents that come in here and join us to have a safe place to even, do whatever.
Mhm.
I know in the private groups you can also go live as well, and I think I will leave that feature on. So if somebody doesn't want to type out what they have to say, they can go on there and hit the live button, and other people can join them. Whatever, they can make a quick little video. But I definitely want to create a nice little safe space with this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Everybody needs a safe space,
absolutely.
especially when it's, you can talk about so many different gruesome things, even as a parent, that you don't
Mhm.
want everybody else on your Facebook post or Facebook friends list to see.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets a little grimy.
Yeah. Judgment is fucking real out there. Judgment is
Judgment is
fucking
fucking real.
real out there. Like my son was screaming at my daughter earlier, you're Karen. Stop it, Karen. I'm like looking at them. I just woke up like 10 minutes earlier and they're literally running around my bed and going across my bed and running around the bed and going across the bed. And he's chasing her, going, "Get over here, Karen." And I'm like, "What?" She's got her shirt on her head like it's a hat and it's flapping over her hair and stuff. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing? What are you doing? It
Lord.
is 7:30 in the morning. Like, go in your room or something. Go eat some cereal. Like, go do something else with
Right.
yourself." Haley said, Jennifer is my other half of my brain because it's so scattered lately. Yeah, that's what Desiree is gonna. She doesn't know it yet, but she's gonna be like 3/4 of my brain. Haley also said, "I love that idea, Brianna and Desiree." Amber said, "I'm so proud of you, Brianna." Um, it definitely too like, and I think that would also be like a good place, like having the private group where we can, get topic suggestions and we're not always
Mhm.
gonna fucking stay on topic, but talking about certain things, um, would be nice. It'd be absolutely nice.
Absolutely. That's where the
So,
organization has to come in handy of
uh-huh. I'm
topics.
I'm organized to an extent. I get focused on something, and if I don't do it then, it's
See,
not
we'll see
happening.
how it goes when I start actually posting with Clean Slate Chronicles, because
So,
just like with you and, Blacklist, you and Jared, having to coordinate that coexist podcasting, co-hosting together.
mhm,
That's hard. That's going to be me and Dylan, and we're
yeah,
having to learn how we can communicate together effectively to other people without running over one another and one
mhm,
outshining the other and
yep. I
all
talk
that fun stuff.
I've brought that up to my significant other before too. It's like, we're both putting in the work doing this together, like, we have to promote each other and support each other,
Hmm.
you know?
See, look at it. Jared comes in hot. That's why I'm
Yeah.
the producer of the show.
He makes our links and he's gonna send us these episodes will be available on our website and on Spotify as well. Um, so I know not everybody has Facebook and everything like that. Oh God. Hold on, I'm gonna go. I can't get to it. Okay.
Some of those YouTube comments.
We yes, that's I told you. We were good for a little while there.
Yep.
We were good for a little while there. There was I don't know if you know who Jamie Tall is, but when she comes on, the fucking people that come over from YouTube from her platform. This one guy one week kept asking if he could video chat with a woman, he wanted them to watch him shave his head and play with himself while she smoked a cigarette. and watched him buzz his head and play with himself. And just kept
Wow.
going. Just kept fucking going. I'm like, Jamie, can you block them? Please, can you go block that person? Like, that's a little much. A
A
little much.
little much.
Sometimes troll comments are okay, but then sometimes they get a little. I know we said it's a safe place, but that was.
Hey, everybody's entitled to their own
Yeah,
opinions
that
and
was.
comments, but yeah.
All right, I have this delicious dinner in the crock pot, which I actually remembered to turn on this time because I forget. Or I'll turn the crock pot on and forget to put the food in it.
Oh, lovely.
Oh my God. Jared went out in the kitchen one day. He goes, "What's burning out here?" I'm like, "I don't know. Nothing's on." He goes, "What's burning?" He goes, "I smell something burning." And I'm like, "Well, like, is there something on top of the stove that's not supposed to be? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, the crock pot was on high for over an hour with nothing in it.
Get it together, Brianna.
I did. I had to let it cool off, rinse it out, and then started my food. But yeah, I want to eat this dinner, watch some TV. Haley said I have to get off here, ladies. Love y'all. And this is perfect Sunday rundown of lives with kids. And gross to that troll. LOL. For our 5 watchers that are still here, what's his 6? Oh, because I'm the 6th. I'm the 6th. Okay. All right,
You're
Brianna.
the sixth.
Yes. We will try our best to keep this time regular. But there are some Sundays that, like the 25th, I'm going on somebody else's, like there's sometimes Jared's on other people's, so we might have to like play around with the time some weeks. But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, I think this time is, pretty good. It's kind of like the wind down time after lunch and before dinner.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I get to lock myself in the closet and get some get some time. I'm sure
Sunday
Dylan.
cool down. It's a
Yeah.
Sunday cool down
Yep.
for all the moms and parents
Absolutely.
out there.
Yep. And there's some weeks too, like I might, do it from my phone, especially when it gets nicer and stuff like that. So we will work out everything. But I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. I had a
Thanks, y'all.
blast. I definitely enjoyed sitting around and chit chatting with you, Desiree, and you ladies in the comments.
Likewise.
It was nice.
Always
And
nice.
I am looking forward to continuing this and building on, our relationship. Mine and yours, Desiree. Because I pretty much knew everybody that was commenting already. And, building this and, doing some great stuff. I don't even care if it's like this every Sunday. It'll be therapeutic for us.
Yeah.
It's like us having like a phone conversation. Look, I even
Yep.
grabbed
Which
snacks and
normally
stuff.
happens, and then that was your idea. You're like, we might as well just have these conversations on live.
Yeah.
Sure.
I grabbed
Absolutely.
myself guacamole and chips. I didn't even touch them.
You
Nothing.
didn't even
Like
touch it.
the whole bag of chips over here. That's fine. I'll go load this bitch up with salt and sit down here. Oh, Jared will probably tell the kids that I'm not on here anymore. And they'll come down. They're upstairs.
Back to mom life.
Jesus. Fuck them kids. All right. I'm gonna thank you guys. You wanna say anything before I end this for today?
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all guys next Sunday.
Yes.